You know, I really didn't want to make this video. I really didn't want to make this video, but I have to address it. A lot of you young men are suffering from a horrible disease. And this is not a physical disease, it's a mental disease. You wanna know somebody who's suffering from the same disease as a lot of you guys? It's a young man by the name of Benjamin David Simmons, aka Ben Simmons. For those of you guys who don't know who Ben Simmons is, he was a very famous, a very great basketball player in the NBA, the National Basketball Association. And you wanna know the disease that he's suffering from? That he can't shoot first, ask questions later. He is literally afraid to shoot. This actually happened 3 years ago. And one of the biggest moments of this guy's entire life, the moment that he was bred for as a little kid, he was literally designed to be in this position. He was one of the most prominent and prestigious people in the entire world. And he was in a perfect position, wide open lane to take advantage of something and score the ball. You wanna know what he did in the most biggest moment of his entire life? He passed it away. And he didn't know it that day, but proverbially speaking, he passed away what made him a man. He passed away what made his masculine essence stand proud. And that was the fact that he lost courage that day. And this man has never been the same. Nothing was the same, as if we're reciting Drake lyrics. But you guys need to understand something. He wasn't the only one and isn't the only one suffering from that. There are a lot of young men who have great ideas in between their temples, who have great ideas stashed in their phone, who have great ideas in talks that they speak to their friends and their family, but they don't put the paper to the pen or the pen to the paper. They don't put their boots on the ground. They do not go for it. And you know what they're lacking? They do not have the art of offense. That's why I'm making this video, because I'm here to let you know, if you are a young man, I want you to do something. I want you to look at your left eye, look at your right thigh, and tell me what's in between it. You have two of them. Yes, two cojones. They're called balls. And as a man, if you want to call yourself a real man, a masculine man, if you watch these Andrew Tate videos or Jordan Peterson videos or Red Pill videos, you need to understand, as a man, when you have balls, you attack this world and you are not afraid to fail for the decisions in the past that you take. That's what the art of offense actually is. A man who's fearless, a man who has courage, or a man who has some anxiety and he has fears, but he looks it in the face and he's willing to do anything to conquer it. Just like Kobe. Why do you think we admire Kobe so much? Because he was never afraid to shoot in the biggest moments. Whether he made or he missed, the dude literally has the most misses in NBA history, and people revere him as such an all-time great. When you look at great NBA players, great NFL players, the ones that we remember them for their great offense and for the great courage that they had. That's what made it so beautiful. That's why offense is like an art. It's the ability for a man to put out his creativity, to put out his passions, to put out his burning desires, and put them in whatever field they may be, and show the world what he is truly capable of. Just like with this Drake Kendrick beat, they're showing you what they're capable of through the beautiful aspects of artwork. And a lot of you guys are literally living your life full of regret because you do not have any offense. You're afraid of offense. You're terrified. You're petrified. And you want to know the life of somebody who lives his life completely defensively? He's passive. He's submissive. He's regretful. He's angry at the world because he should be angry at himself, because he lived this life full of regrets. A lot of men grow up to be 40, 50, 60-year-old guys, angry at young men because the young men were not afraid to do what they were afraid to do their entire life. Looking at the beautiful woman, they weren't afraid. Going and starting their own business, they were not afraid. Traveling to other countries, they were not afraid. But you see, these men, they were a shell of themselves, and they could never recover. It's very likely that Ben Simmons is never gonna recover. And he essentially, his mentality and what made him a man, not his physical body, not the physical body that a lot of people admire, but what was inside of him, his spirit, it was broken and it was taken away, and nobody can ever give it back to him except the Most High. if that's his fate. So you guys need to understand that you as a man, if you listen to me on this video and and I'm talking to you because you know the reason why I know how to speak on these things so deeply, I used to be in that same position. I used to be the scared dude when I went to middle school, the scared dude when I went to high school, even throughout college at times, where I was afraid to go for things, to speak out and speak my mind. And it wasn't until I looked my fears in the face and I told myself, are you gonna continue to be a bitch? Are you gonna continue to be scared and afraid? Or are you gonna go out there and conquer the world? And that's what I want you guys who are watching me on this video to do. I want you guys to go out there and attack this world, be offensive, and don't be afraid to fail. Shoot first, ask questions later if you have to, goddammit. Because that's what's going to allow you to succeed. And now that we got that out the way, I want to explain to you guys the certain situations where you as a man need to be offensive. But first and foremost, what is the definition of offense? So what does it mean to be offensive in the game of life? Because y'all need to understand, y'all already know this. Life is like a game, especially if you watch my last video. So in a game, if you want to win, if you want to conquer, if you want to make a name for yourself, you have to attack it. You have to go for it. You cannot be afraid, right? So when it comes to offense, it's essentially somebody who takes initiative, somebody who wants to get the ball rolling, somebody who may be ambitious. They have great goals and dreams and aspirations that they want to go for, and they're not afraid to jump off the sidelines. They don't want to sit back and just let life come to them. They go for it, and they attack and conquer life, right? When it comes to offense, it comes to being assertive. You know, putting yourself in a position where people will notice you, where people will see you, where you're not constantly being, oh, where's that guy? Because he's being overlooked all the time, right? Because he doesn't have a real presence that people can attract themselves to. Also, somebody who's resilient, somebody who has the ability to be resilient and deal with anything that comes in their way, and somebody who is adaptable. Because when you look at somebody who's adaptable, they analyze what's going on around them, and they themselves make the initiative and take the strategy to change their circumstances or change their approach before the environment or the life around them consumes them and they're moving off the beat of the drum of other people. That's why a lot of people who are offensive, they become what? They become bosses. They become entrepreneurs. For a lot of you guys who are into trying to find you a woman, these are the guys they call a quote-unquote Chad or a quote-unquote Tyrone. These are guys who are not allowing certain pressures and certain inferiority complexes in their mind to hold them back. So that's why a lot of people love offense, because there are a lot of advantages to being offensive in life. People look at you with reverence, with admiration and respect. I mean, think about it. The guy that you all know in your personal life who has no conscience when it comes to approaching a woman. He don't give a damn how fine she is. He don't give a damn how popular he is. He goes up to her, tells her what his name is, lay down his pimp game, whatever you want to call it. And what happens? Even though people think that she's in a higher position than that man, she melts. She's like, wow, who is this guy? How does he have so much confidence? Because he's assertive, that people submit to that guy's will. Strong guys, dudes that you call a quote-unquote alpha, right? You know, you hear people talk about beta and alpha. Essentially, an alpha is just a guy who knows where he wants to go in his life. He has a plan for it, and he's not afraid to go for it. And whether he succeeds to the level that he wanted to, or he falls short and quote-unquote fails, he can still feel confident as a man no matter what. He cannot be shaken. So now that you guys understand offense, what are some situations where you must be more offensive? First things first, you guys have to be offensive when it comes to opportunities, especially business or money opportunities. You have to get the ball rolling. You want to know the reason why? We're in 2024. You have to take initiative to stand out nowadays. With the smartphone, with the internet, with globalization, there are so many different people across the globe who are competing for the same spotlight, who are competing for the same attention, who are trying to assert themselves in the same environment as you. That if you are a guy and you're not going out there, putting yourself out there and trying to be unique, you are gonna literally fall behind the scenes. A lot of people are going to forget about you. When it comes to starting a business, You must put your name out there because nobody knows who the hell you are. People are not gonna come knocking on your door if you wanna sell tennis shoes. People are not gonna come knocking on your door if you wanna start a tax company or a financial advice company, whatever it might be. You have to put your name out there. You gotta go against the grain and you gotta dig deep, and you cannot be afraid of people overlooking you or failing, because most people don't even know who the hell you are. They might see you mess up and make a mistake, but they forget who the hell you are. So why would you be afraid to go out there and attack when you start your own business? And I know this is something that I've struggled with, and from time to time I still deal with this. When it comes to approaching women, you must be assertive. Let me tell you the reason why. Because first and foremost, women came from men. That's just the truth of it. I hope I don't get canceled, but that's the truth of it. So you need to understand something about a woman. A woman is like the moon. The sun is gonna shine every single day no matter what. And what the moon does is it reflects the light of the sun. So you guys need to understand, when you have a healthy relationship between a man and a woman, she's gonna look to you to lead. The first reason why when you first meet a woman, you have to take the initiative is so that she can see you as a leader, as somebody who she can trust and she can be her proper role. Because if not, she's gonna feel like you're scared, and I'm just gonna be blunt, she might think that you're a pussy. If times get tough and you need to defend her and be aggressive and be assertive when you're in a different position, if she feels that you're timid, she's gonna have an inclination that you're not a real man. Because I don't give a damn what women say, I don't give a damn what society says, I don't give a damn what any of these other guys say. A man is somebody who shows and exudes strength. And one of the aspects of being offensive is that you have strength, you have confidence, you have the ability and belief in yourself that whatever it is that you're aiming for, you have the ability to get there. That's why it's so important for you guys to do this when you run into women that you may not know and when you're going to a business. Also, a lot of you guys, in 2024, this is not the 1980s. And what I mean by that is a lot of you guys are competing for jobs. Now, the economy is shit right now. It is what it is. But when it comes to you guys wanting to get a new job or a new promotion or put yourself in a better financial position, you must attack the opportunity. This is not the 1980s where somebody put a help wanted sign out, maybe 3 to 5 people called it, and boom, it was between you and another 3 or 4 people. Now you have LinkedIn, you have Instagram, you have public websites. There are hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people trying to apply for the same position as you. And people are not just gonna choose you because you have a college degree. You think people are gonna choose you just because you have a college degree? Get in line with all the other debt slaves, right? You have to know people, you have to put yourself out there, and you have to make sure that you stand out. You have to go and acquire different skills that make you qualified for the job. You have to go out there and meet the right person, put your bid in, you know, put your voice in with that person so they can actually see and know who the hell you are. And do it consistently and persistently. And also the aspect of being offensive in life is that you have to be persistent. Now keep in mind, fair warning, when I say you have to be assertive, I don't mean overly aggressive. This is one of the drawbacks to being offensive in life. Sometimes you can become so uber offensive that you don't know when to balance it out, you don't know when to take a step back, and you are proverbially shooting yourself out the game. Like what Kobe used to do a lot. He'll shoot 30, 35 shots when he ain't making a damn thing, building a damn brick house. Same thing with Russell Westbrook. Same thing with Josh Allen when he throws 4 interceptions because the dude can just not take a simple check down. Sometimes as a man, you cannot force certain situations. And if you're a guy with a very aggressive and assertive personality, I can almost guarantee you a lot of the headaches and a lot of struggles that you deal with in life come from you being extremely assertive. But we're gonna get into that in a different video. But getting back to the main point, when you guys are assertive, you must be persistent. Because one thing that you're gonna learn as a man, as you really start to grow and put yourself out there, you're going to start to realize if you have the capabilities to be a great man, you have the ability to influence people's thoughts, influence people's actions, influence people's minds with your words and your energy. So a lot of times when you guys have an idea, when you guys are working to persuade others, You must be persistent. You must be confident that you can eventually win that person over with repeated interactions, because in your mind, you believe that you're this great person, or whatever it is that you're selling. You have a great idea that you can benefit and help them, even if they're not seeing it at that moment. But you have to be able to balance it out. That's the aspect of being able to analyze what's going on around you and having discernment. Because you need to understand, every situation is going to be different. There are going to be certain situations where you need to be more assertive, and certain situations where you need to be more defensive. A great floor general knows when to pick things up and when to slow things down, depending on the time of the game, the time of possession, or the aspect of your life. You guys are floor generals for your life. So there are going to be certain times where you need to be more persistent. You need to be more assertive. And also you need to understand this. A very, very, very important field of life that you need to be assertive in is your body language. If you guys are watching me and you're in high school and you're somebody who gets picked on, or you're somebody who gets bullied, you're the butt of the joke, whatever it may be, it's because you're not being assertive in your body language. Because one thing that I learned is that your communication is 80% of your body language. When you guys are new to this, you walk with your head down, your shoulders are slouched, you have a certain aura of yourself that is very weak, because people, when they really look at you, they're not looking at your physical flesh and blood. They're almost looking at your aura and your spirit. And no matter how strong your body is, no matter how much you may lift and bodybuild and do all this extra shit, if you have a weak aura or a weak spirit, people are going to take advantage of you. I don't give a damn how strong you think you are. You need to be assertive with your body language. If you guys are in certain positions and people are fucking with you, it's more than likely because you have weak body language. Because I'll tell you this from my personal experience and other guys' experiences, the guys who used to get bullied on, the guys who used to get picked on and be the constant butt of the joke, when they learn how to have more assertive, confident, and dominant body language, 90% of that shit went away. Now, you are going to run into some guys who are still going to try you regardless of how strong you may appear on the outside. And that's why you need to have internal confidence. But the vast majority of the people, they test your outside body language. And if they can tell that you have strong body language, they're not going to mess with you. So you guys want to be very offensive and very assertive when it comes to your body language, especially on a day-to-day basis, or if you're in a position where you feel like people may try to threaten you and mess with you. And also, one thing that you guys are going to inherently have is, as you start to grow and develop as a man, you want to be assertive in situations where you can tell that there is a lack of leadership. Because I'm just going to be honest with you, the vast majority of people on earth, they're not meant to be leaders. It's no disrespect. I know a lot of people talk about you can be anything if you put your mind to it. If you do not have the gift given to you from the Most High, there are certain characteristics and personalities that you will never have. Because ultimately, you have to have something inside of you to be able to develop it. Now, some people naturally have it and it naturally comes out, and other people, it lays dormant. Like Gohan, he had a great power, but it had to come out. People had to train him and build him up to it. A lot of you guys can be great leaders, but you have to take the initiative. So one way that you guys want to be more offensive in life is when you can tell that people are lacking true leadership and true guidance. You step in and you help out. So this is just a quick understanding on how to be offensive in life. Again, I do not want you guys to fall for the disease of being afraid to be a man. You know, it's very unfortunate. When you look at that case with Ben Simmons, he will probably never be the same. All because he missed the layup. Because it was more than just missing the layup. Essentially, it was him showing people that he was afraid to be what they always wanted him to be. And when people see you lose that, they lose all trust, they lose all confidence for you. And the vast majority of people around you are going to start to turn on you just because they don't understand you. They just can't, they don't feel safe when they're around you. They don't feel like you're their guy. They don't feel like you're the man that they can, latch onto and ride the horse. Because you as a man, sometimes you gotta lead people to victory. And when they see that you're afraid and you're a scared leader, people are gonna go and jump ship. That's just the nature of human beings. And that's why you guys need to address this. If you are a guy and you're struggling with this, make sure you take my words to heart, because I want to see you guys elevate. Again, my channel is called From a Pawn to a King. You cannot call yourself a king if you're not willing to get into the battlefield and get bloody at times to time. potentially lose a limb, potentially lose an arm. But understand that you're doing it for the greater good so you can come back stronger and you can get the victory for yourself and the people around you. That's a true king's mindset. And can't nobody take his crown once he has that true mindset. Otherwise, he's going to live his life full of regrets, extremely jealous, bitter, and butthurt because he was a guy who never ever went for anything. He's gonna live his life looking back like, man, why the hell didn't I just talk to that beautiful woman? Why the hell didn't I quit this bullshit ass job where these people treat me like garbage? Why the hell didn't I just go out there and really explore this world? And you're gonna lay on your deathbed 20, 40, 60 years from now, and you're gonna feel like you didn't live up to your own potential. And that's probably one of the worst feelings as a man, that you knew deep inside of you that you had all the tools, all the opportunity to make something of yourself, to feel confident when you looked at yourself in the mirror. You're gonna be full of regret. So make sure that doesn't happen. Make sure you guys attack life. And most importantly, make sure you shoot first and ask questions later. So I'll catch you guys on the next video. Like it, comment down below what you think about it. Any situations where you felt like you wanted to shoot, but it was holding you back. Or you can even share a story about how, essentially you were feeling these fears and you conquered them. Let me know. I really want to hear what you guys think. And if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and catch me for next videos where I go over the science of how to be defensive in life. Until next time, peace.